my name is Brittany Savard, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the myofascial lines of the body. So I'm going to start off with the superficial front line. Basically it's made up of fast twitch muscle fibers. So basically that means that this line is very strong and it connects the entire anterior surface of the body. Another key point about this line is that it helps more with movement than it does with posture. So a few of the muscles that are involved in this line are starting at the toes down, or toes up, sorry. So it begins on the dorsal surface of the toes and goes up to the tibialis anterior, so just like right here. Up to the quadriceps, rectus femoris, rectus abdominis, and up to the sternocleidomastoid. A few of the functions of the superficial front line are to provide postural support and counterbalancing the superficial back line. So basically when I'm just standing here, both lines are kind of counteracting each other to keep me upright. And its functions in movement are flexion of the trunk and the hips, so movements like this, another view like this, as well as dorsiflexion of the foot and extension of the knee. So another way to stretch this line is to do a stretch like this and have your head up so it stretches the entire line and your feet pointed. So the next line that I'll talk about is the superficial back line. It's basically opposite of the superficial front line. It's made up of slow twitch muscle fibers and basically helps to keep the body remain upright when standing. It connects the entire posterior surface of the body, and it basically starts from the bottoms of the feet and ends all the way up to our brows, and it's in two sections. So one starts from the toes all the way to the knees, and the next section is from the knees to the brows. Its postural function is to support the body in extension and hyperextension. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the muscles that are involved in this are the gastrocnemius, if you can see that, the hamstrings, and the erector spinae. So a way to stretch this this line is basically the downward dog, as most people know it as. So basically you want to keep your heels on the ground, and you want to try and bring your head between your biceps, and you should feel it all the way along your posterior surface of your body. So the spiral line covers both the posterior and anterior surfaces of the body in a double helix shape. It starts at the occipital region, so around the back of your neck, and goes around the back, and then down the hips and down the leg. And there's also another part of it that starts also at the occipital region and just goes kind of in a straight line down the back and all the way down to the toes. It is used in rotational movement, so this kind of thing. And it also helps with knee tracking, so like when we're walking, keeps everything in line. So the muscles involved in this are the biceps femoris, the fibularis longus, tibialis anterior, the iliotibial tract, or also known as the IT band, the tensor fasciae latae, or TFL, external and internal obliques, the serratus anterior, and the major and minor rhomboids. So a way to stretch this this line is basically to lay on your side with your bottom arm straight and your top leg bent, and your top arm, you basically just swing it in a clockwise motion, and you should feel it along all along the line. So the next line that I'm going to talk about is the lateral line. It goes on either side of the body. It starts on the medial side of the foot and goes to the outside of the foot, along up the side of the leg. It does a crisscross along the trunk, and then it kind of goes in like behind your ear. One of its functions is basically for balance, so like to counterbalance the left and the right. The movement patterns that the lateral line promotes are like lateral bends, lateral flexion, trunk abduction at the hip, extension of the foot, eversion of the foot. And so basically the muscles that are involved in this are the fibularis muscles, abductor muscles, the iliotibial tract or the ID band, the TFL, the glute max, lateral abdominal obliques, external and internal intercostals, the sternocleidomastoid, and the splenus capitis, so the muscle that's right in behind here. So one of the best ways to stretch this is basically so you want to cross your legs, and with the same arm that's behind, you want to just straighten your arm and push your hip outward, and you should feel the stretch all the way along. And yeah. So the last two lines that I'll be talking about are the two functional lines. And so there's the front functional line and a back functional line. They kind of work in opposite. So these two lines are unique because they're mostly used for movement rather than posture. Although in movements such as yoga, they can be used as kind of stabilizer postural movements, but they're mainly used for like athletic kind of movements, and their main function is for power and precision for movements. So my favorite movement to help me remember this is the baseball throw. So basically the opposite leg to the arm gives it power. So like for a baseball throw, your opposite leg comes forward and gives power to your arm as it comes through. And so that kind of concludes my video. Hope you learned a little bit about myofascial lines.